What's up, guys? We are back with another episode of Why Did I Buy This Figure? I said I wasn't going to buy it. So that would, of course, be the last figure I needed for the Far From Home Molten Man wave. The Doppelganger Spider-Man, which I'm really not all that interested in. I wanted this Build-A-Figure arm to build what is arguably the most hated Build-A-Figure in a very long time. So this is a really weird one for me. But yeah, we're going to give him a fair shake anyway, see what's going on here. So we've got this guy in our standard Marvel Legends packaging. He's there in the window, Spider-Man logo at the bottom. We've got some pretty fantastic artwork on the side of our ferocious doppelganger, along with that artwork on the back, as well as a little bit of a bio, our Build-A-Figure, and our lineup. So yeah, let's do it. Let's pull this guy out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our Doppelganger Spider-Man. One of those figures that, I don't know, I never really wanted to buy this figure. I just couldn't resist that Build-A-Figure piece because I have some weird fascination behind Molten Man. So we've got this guy here, and there is some goofy stuff going on with this figure. So obviously this is kind of a retread of the 6-arm Spider-Man that came out not too long ago, but this is the Doppelganger version. So it's got all the same problems as that last figure. I don't even have that one, so I have nothing to compare it to, but I'm very familiar with all of the controversy. So let's take a look how this guy moves around. His head can go all the way up, so you can get him into a good crouching position. That really helps. Down just a little bit. Rotation at the head. All of the arms are articulated the same, so they do rotate at the shoulder, they hinge, they've got bicep swivels, they've got double jointed elbows, and then they've got hinging and rotating wrists. The the arms are socketed in such a way that they really don't get in each other's way, so the top and the bottom are a little forward, and the middle is a little on the back. So you can kind of see that they're socketed in such a way that it sort of helps, which is fine, but we know that even when you have 6 arms in a figure, based on what some customizers have done, that you can have additional articulation in the chest. And whether it's for a safety reason or whatever the reason is, the lack of any kind of crunch and waist twist on this figure is almost criminal. I don't even begin to understand how this got approved by whoever approves things. John Hasbro, if you're out there, this is a mess. This is a $10 style toy with no chest articulation. And I know it's kind of been beaten over and over and over again because people talked about this with that first 6-arm Spider-Man, but this is just crazy. It's so weird that it doesn't have any articulation there. And it definitely hinders the figure. There's no doubt about it. It certainly hinders it in terms of posability. The legs can go out pretty decently. They kick forward. They kick back. You've got your thigh cut, you've got your double jointed knees, and then you've got shin swivels, and you've got rockers and hinges down at the ankle. So he has, for all intents and purposes, he has standard Marvel Legends articulation until you get to the torso, and they decided to take 2 joints out because they had to stick all of this stuff in the chest cavity. Now, when it comes to the overall look and feel of this guy, it's okay. There's not a great deal to really fuss about in terms of the aesthetics. My big gripe comes to articulation. There are a couple things that kind of bug me, though. No pun intended, because it's a spider, obviously. So we've got unpainted web lines. That always kind of just loses a little bit of luster for me. And this guy has the textured suit. I'm not sure which Spider-Man this is supposed to be from. This is like one of the movie Spider-Man figures, I think, from like the older movies pre-MCU, right? Is that what these are from? So I'm sure someone will let me know. I don't have any Spider-Man figure that has this texture on it, but I know it's not unique to this guy. He's got various hands, so you've got 3 of the open palm hands, and you've got 3 of the fist hands, and they've all got that telltale 3-fingered look. He's got his weird, gnarly 2 toes and then a back toe thing going on here. They help with him standing because honestly he's kind of weird to position because of the lack of articulation. You have to kind of center him correctly. So this, if anything, does kind of help. You've got a little bit of metallic paint all over him, so the blues are kind of metallic, and the reds are really muted in comparison, so the blue really shines, the red does not. You've got the black spider logo there, and then you've got the red spider logo on the back. My biggest gripe with this figure, and it's usually not something that bothers me all that much, are all of these different colored joints. And I understand why they're this color, but it's when there's so many of them on a figure that it's hard to not notice them. I mean, there's all these little red dots all over the place. And like I said, normally that doesn't bother me too much. It's kind of, a thing that happens with these figures, but seeing 12 of them all at once definitely kind of throws things off, not to mention the hinges in the armpits are, of course, different colors. And then you've got this head sculpt, which for the most part is pretty good. You've got a bunch of jagged teeth in there. The mouth is slightly open, and you've got the textured suit up there as well for the mask, and you've got some really nice textured eyes up there, which are pretty good. Nice pearly white, so they kind of shine and shimmer, and then of course they're surrounded by black. So the head is probably my favorite part of this figure, because it definitely looks like the character. The rest of the figure is just sort of so-so, coupled with some, well, not so great articulation. So that about does it for this guy because, well, there's really nothing left to talk about. He is definitely an odd figure, and he's really just okay at best. Unless you're a huge fan of this guy, I'm not really sure there's much reason to go crazy over him. He is definitely lacking in paint, he's definitely lacking in articulation, and he just doesn't really seem like he fits in with Marvel Legends. That torso alone screams a $10 price point figure. And I know we get a lot of extra articulation with those arms, and I'm sure there's extra engineering costs that had to go into figuring out how to get those into that buck. But at the end of the day, it suffers from not having a crunch and a waist swivel. There is really no other way to describe it. It suffers because of that for sure. So that's going to do it for this look at the Marvel Legends Doppelganger Spider-Man. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.